I would actually cast for Magneto.
Oh, I want to hear this.
Ah, I'm
Idris
just
Elba?
gonna, no. I would say the person you cast for Magneto is Tom Cruise. An older.
What? Yeah, we're just gonna start this shit live.
That's why I said I'm mad that I liked it. Like I'm really pissed.
He's Chinese.
Welcome to the latest episode of Sarat and Chris's Movie Therapy Podcast. Yeah, it's gonna be in the new office, but like it's set up in a way that I don't have to take it down after.
Okay.
Right now,
That sounds good.
I'm in my dining room right now. So,
hey man, sometimes the best place in the house is your dining room. You get to eat. I guess record. It is what it is.
Stuff happens in the dining room. You play board games. Have dinners.
I barely sit in my dining room. The only thing I do in my dining room is, which my wife hates, is that I have a random computer nook set up on the dining room table because the only time that we eat on that table is formal. We normally eat in the TV room, and it's like 5 or 6 times a year that I have to clear the entire dining room table off. But until that time, I literally have a MacBook, my work computer, and something else just going there right now.
Yeah. At my parents' house, my brother does all his meetings at the dining room table. But like here,
is your brother insane and like have it?
My brother does what you do.
He does no, but it's your brother insane. Does he take these meetings without a headset? Because my wife does that, and that shit is insane to me. Like, yo, how you on a Zoom call and everybody can hear you?
So, short answer is yes.
Wow.
But the funny shit is again, he does the same thing you do with hospitals and shit like that. This motherfucker will wake up. I'm putting your business out there, Saran. Sorry. This motherfucker will wake up, go do a meeting.
Get this man suspended, it's your fault, Saran. I understand. I'll be waiting with a crowbar. You can take his knee out, the good one.
He'll do a meeting, and then he'll just get done with the meeting, go back to his room, and go back to bed. I'm like, come on, man. Yeah, treat it like work.
I mean, in the initial pandemic times when it was like dire and we didn't know what was happening, I did that. Yeah. But then I also worked through the first 3 days of COVID, like of me having COVID, and I didn't think I had COVID because we didn't go out. Yeah. And then I was like I can't taste my my drink. Like, what is going on? And I was like, oh crap. That explains why this day is extremely exhausting. But
well, speaking of exhausting days, welcome to the latest episode of Sarat and Chris's Movie Therapy Podcast featuring Marcos. It's your boy Sarat, aka Makazi.
Is your boy Marcos, aka at the Sunset Kid 5'6".
And this week we have a brand new day to talk about, something that is right now freaking blowing past a lot of box office records. As I've read, it's the second fastest movie to hit $2 billion.
Yeah, and you know what? Congratulations to Spider-Man, brand new day in the MCU, because coming off of Supergirl, coming off of like their last few releases, Marvel really needed a hit, and my man knocked it out the park.
Hold on, Supergirl.
Yeah, I'm talking DC, about like comic book movies in general.
So comic book
they were not trending very good.
Okay,
and Marvel was very nervous.
Yeah,
and then this did what it was supposed to do, and to the point that even if it makes more money than Doomsday, which I doubt, it is insane. Like Marvel's like right now, everybody's patting themselves on the back, like San Diego Comic-Con, D23, which happened last weekend. Everybody was all smiles. If Spider-Man would have shat the bed, they would have been like, they would have seen so many constellations. They would be like, we don't know what's gonna happen after Doomsday. Don't ask us questions.
I'm like, as far as comic book movies, you had your Spider-Mans and your Batmans, that were like bulletproof. If those two aren't doing good,
Superman 2. You got to think about that's the big three for me.
Superman.
Deep down inside is my favorite superhero to watch.
Listen, I agree, but here's the thing: after Man of Steel, theatrically, Superman didn't have the clout that he had on television. And so the anticipation for a Superman movie wasn't as high as it should have been. I'm just saying that, like, when Spider-Man comes out, when Batman comes out, you expect it to do gangbusters, you know?
Yep. And shout out to Tom Holland. Tom Holland, and I will sing this on the highest mountain. I will die on this hill. He's the best Spider-Man that we've had outside in live action. Because the t-shirt that I'm wearing is Miles Morales from the Spider-Verse universe. I think that is the best Spider-Man IP that we've had ever. But live action, this movie is probably the best thing I ever seen.
I won't say the best ever. I think the Spider-Man animated show, TV show, it's probably the best ever.
The thing is, I've gone and watched it multiple times. It's one of my guilty pleasures. I don't like the way it ends. Like,
Yeah.
it like ended like it fell to the ranks of when cartoons are no longer selling toys.
Yeah.
That's what happens. It's just they're like, all right, whatever. They live. Yeah, Spider-Man, good.
Yeah.
We're out of here. But
going
back to this movie,
I will agree with you. Again, Spider-Man's my favorite superhero ever.
Okay.
The original Tobey Maguire Spider-Man holds my record for seeing it in theaters. I saw that 12 or 13 times in the theater. Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man and Peter Parker we've had.
So here's the thing. Like, Tobey Maguire was groundbreaking.
Yes.
What he did at that time was probably the best 1-2 punch ever of any superhero movie for that time.
Yep.
Spider-Man 3, I get it. Too much.
I love Spider-Man 3. I think it gets a lot of hate.
I liked it. I like the actors that are involved, but I also feel like that movie tanked Topher Grace's career. He has not recovered since. Topher Grace is the guy from That 70s Show.
Yep.
Just as an actor-wise, that was the biggest movie he's ever been.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a person that got destroyed, raked over the coals over his how he played the character. But he just did what the script wanted him to do.
Yeah.
But the reason why I used to hold
here's the thing though. I actually thought he was fine in that movie. I thought he was good. It's just I think the audience had been anticipating Venom for so long that I think the portrayal of Venom in the movie, not necessarily Topher Grace's Eddie Brock, but the portrayal of Venom in that movie, because I contend that the ending of that movie should have been when Spider-Man lands on the church and the bell rings and the symbiote falls off and lands on Eddie. And the last shot of the movie should have been Eddie turning into Venom and coming at the screen. And then you do Venom in Spider-Man 4.
So the thing is what I think happened in that movie. Well, we know what happened in that movie. The studio wanted so many things. It turned it into this weird ensemble movie. Mm-hmm. It took all these actors, like the guy that played Sandman. He won an Oscar that year for one of the movies. I think
it was not Sideways.
It might have been.
Was it the Sideways or that fucking
the movie where they get into a van with the little girl?
Oh, the Little Miss Sunshine?
Yeah, Little Miss Sunshine. It was one of those two movies he won. And, that's often the place, especially weirdly with Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. Because once this guy won the Oscar, Jamie Foxx, guess what they did? They added him to Spider-Man. It's like, it's a weird tradition.
Well, it's one of those things where you're trying to add that, that acting clout to a big CGI, blockbuster movie. Like sometimes, that's I feel like they try to, what's the word? They try to prove that these type of movies can have good acting in it, but you don't need to do that. You can just take a gamble on an actor. You get a fucking Tom Holland who's doing great. You had a Heath Ledger in the fucking Dark Knight.
So this is where up until that point, that was a gold standard for me. But then, we got Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield. Mm-hmm. That came out, and that to me made Spider-Man cool. He made Peter Parker cool, and he was smart, and he was between the both of them, he was the better Spider-Man in terms of his quips, the way he acted when he was
Yes.
wearing the suit. But
Yes.
upon watching both, that's when I started getting this weird feeling that I don't know. Me and a couple of my friends had it at the time that's when Peter Parker, Tobey Maguire's Peter, felt dated. That's
Yeah.
when those movies to me started feeling really old.
Yep.
And
That's how I feel about like that's how I feel out when people talk about the Christopher Reeve Superman. That's how I
yeah,
feel about like Tobey Maguire Spider Man. Same thing.
yeah. So I was just like, okay, it feels a little bit dated, but then I also felt that Andrew Garfield played Peter too cool. Like he played him like a slacker, like the mid 2000s, like skateboarder,
Yeah.
like he was and he was younger, but he played it not like as a nerd, he played it more as an outcast.
Yeah, I was gonna say like an outcast,
Yeah,
which in the in the world they were building in that movie, I could see that because they
yeah,
made his parents, a little more attached to Oscorp, things like that. So like
yeah,
I can see them going in that route. The only thing I didn't like about Amazing Spider-Man, that movie, I actually like it a lot. The only thing in that movie to me that breaks the immersion into it is the fucking dunking the basketball scene. Ain't
yeah.
nobody watching this motherfucker do that and then be like, "Ah, see Spider-Man show up," and be like,
And shout out to I forgot the guy's name, Mangione, not Mangione, the real buff guy. He was like real young in that
"Oh,
movie.
Joe Manganiello
Yeah, Joe
from he played Flash
Mangione. That
Thompson."
yeah,
Yeah,
he was Flash Thompson. I liked him in that. That was a good callback. Like when I watched it, I watched that movie a lot. I love the casting of Captain Stacy. That was good.
no,
But then
Joe Manganiello was in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Was he?
Yeah, he's the one. He's the one that fights Toby in the hallway.
You're right. You're right. I'm mixing them
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
So fast forward to Tom Holland. I loved him as Spider-Man. His appearance in Civil War was amazing. But
yep,
when they fleshed it out, the biggest thing that I had with the character, he was good, was his background. We never
yeah,
saw him to be the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. He was Spider-Man. Like I watched a lot of the Spider-Man cartoons. He was Ultimate Spider-Man,
yeah,
which was a Spider-Man cartoon version that Marvel, I think it was Fox and Marvel that they did, or Sony, in
yep,
which he was basically working for Shield. He
yeah,
had his Spider-Man team. He had Agent Venom, which was Flash Thompson on Venom, but the good version. He had Gwen Stacy. He had he had Spider Gwen, of course,
yeah.
and that was more what Tom Holland was giving me in the beginning, and I loved it. There was a lot of people like, "Oh, I don't know about this," and I was just
Well,
like, "Yo, this kid got it." He's first guy to be cast, and he was the actual age range of
yeah.
what the character needed to be.
Well, also, what I love is again, we didn't realize it. People didn't realize it until after No Way Home when they were like, "Oh no, we didn't realize this trilogy was him finding his way to becoming the Spider-Man we know." Because
Yeah, and
everybody
then
assumed him showing up and having, doing the whole Iron Spider thing, whatever, that this was the Spider-Man like fully fleshed out. And we got to see that no, he was actually just still learning and getting to that point. It was, essentially just a long origin story, a 3-movie origin story for
what
the Spider-Man that we know.
I like how you touched on that, because in Brand New Day, the reason why it works is because he had the highest of the highs
Mhm.
as Spider-Man. Like he matured, he relied on Tony, he lost his mentor, he worked through it. He lost his aunt, which was in my way, at least for Tom Holland, was the biggest loss that he's had.
Yeah.
And he ended up making a big sacrifice. So he had everything at his fingertips and lost it.
Yep.
That's why Brand New Day makes it better,
Yeah.
because he literally has nothing except himself and his skills, and he's buried into it. And people are like, well, Peter
Yeah. He's supposed to
Parker's
be
old
broke.
Spider-Man had no money and everything. I was like, bro, this is 2026.
Yeah.
Tom Holland would have been graduated at the top of his class, or Peter Parker in this
Yep.
version, so in MIT, which means he knows how to create and use AI. So
Yeah.
the stuff that he used in the beginning, like having his AI create a suit and all that stuff, that is the Peter Parker that we
Yeah.
got glimpses
Yeah,
of
that's
in the
to
first
me.
two iterations.
Yeah, that's to me. That's the logical Peter Parker. If you're taking Peter Parker and setting him in like modern times with the technology that we have at at our fingertips, a
Yeah,
3D printer, things like that. Like that's the stuff
he
he
had a
would use.
3D
He
printer.
wouldn't be sitting there sewing.
Yeah, he had a 3D printer in combination with what's it called? It's another type of 3D printer, the one that uses liquid. Like it's not it's very plausible, like
Yeah, yeah.
from what he did. And then the fact that they incorporated parts of the cartoon, the animated series from the
Mhm.
94, the fact that he was going so lonely
Yeah,
that his body started evolving like a spider
yeah,
made for compelling story. And you know me, I've said this probably a dozen times on these podcasts.
yeah.
You got that, and then you add in the perfect heaping helping of my guy,
Yeah.
John Bernthal, aka Punisher. I was in from the get. I don't give a crap. They could have sat
Well,
there and killed the Hulk shooting him, and I would have been like, yo, I'm in.
no, but see, okay, so here's the thing. Again, and those who aren't familiar with, the Civil War, so I liken this movie to Civil War, but like comic and movie. One, because if you're familiar with the whole Civil War storyline, after it all goes down, Peter Parker is, his identity's out there, and he's readopted the black suit because he's a wanted guy out there. And then so you get that loneliness that Tom Holland's Peter Parker feels in this movie, but also with the Civil War movie, it was Captain America Civil War. Civil War is an ensemble piece, but when you
Yep.
watch the Civil War movie, it's inherently a Steve Rogers Captain America story.
Yep.
In this one, again, it ran that line of being like, okay, you might have a bunch of characters in here and cameos and stuff where it might feel like an ensemble piece, but it actually is a straight up just Spider-Man story. And
and
everyone else is
and
sprinkled in there to really highlight that world that they've built.
and then they drove it home, like, to the point that it was comical that Spider-Man, what he faced was very small compared to what is happening
Mhm.
all over the world.
Yeah.
Because when he went to the Black Widow, the new Black Widow, which is Yelena,
Yep.
and she was like, I don't even deal with that. Like, what is
Yeah.
this is so small? You should be able to do that. And basically, the world didn't forget who Spider-Man was, neither did the Avengers.
Yeah.
What they forgot is who was Spider-Man and what
Exactly.
memories they had with him. They were like, oh, he's like another hero that's on the database that they know about.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And
Mhm.
then, like, a lot of people were like
A lot
very
of people were
perturbed.
confused. I felt like they were confused at like, why does this person remember this and that? It's like no one remembers Peter Parker and Spider-Man in the same place. They just remember
Yeah,
this other guy, and then
yeah,
they remember fucking Spider-Man did all this saving, but they don't. They're not correlating. They didn't put them
yeah.
together.
They don't remember Spider-Man and like Peter Parker. Like they remember Spider-Man probably working with that working with them fighting Thanos, or maybe
Yeah,
that was removed. But it's like superheroes are active
yeah,
in the world, and so
yeah,
the
yeah,
Avengers know every superhero or know of them. They don't know who
yeah,
the Peter Parker kid is. I'm almost certain they do know who he is, but they're like Peter Parker. They're like, oh, I don't know who that kid is. Like, you know what
yeah,
I mean? All
yeah,
the personal memories are
yeah.
gone. Like, it
Yeah, he's
doesn't
like
mean
a
that.
guy. He's probably like some guy you happen to just. I've seen that kid in town somewhere, but I don't know who that is.
Yeah,
You know,
and that's
you go to the supermarket, you see, somebody that lives in your neighborhood that you don't know that you just happen to always see them at the supermarket, something like that.
yeah, it's like that. And then the controversial part that people do not understand that Spider-Man,
Hmm.
not only did they give us a compelling plot, they also kicked off what is going to be. They gave us all the pieces right there for the mutant saga. Number
Yeah.
one, the reveal of Jean Grey. People
Which
were
okay,
like,
so
"Oh, I
so
don't."
so what do you feel about this portrayal of Jean Grey? Because everybody's expecting to see like a very I don't want to say more adult, but a more, a good Jean Grey. I think they're just so used to Jean Grey being in the X-Men, they forget
Well,
that like
here's the
she had her
thing.
own
Here's the
background.
thing. She was the antagonist. She was not the villain.
Yeah.
A lot of people and Spider-Man, if you watch the movie clearly,
Hmm.
which I think you understand as well, is she did what she did because she was trying to find her sister.
Yep.
This is a child. She's a 15, 16-year-old child
Yep.
that has all this power and all these emotions and has not had Professor X
Yeah.
to train her. So this is pre Jean Grey from the X-Men.
Yep.
This is Jean Grey like my parents abandoned me. I'm a mutant. I don't have nobody in this world. This is prior to Scott, prior to everything. Like I've seen even on my timeline, people are like, "Oh, this is the worst. Sadie Sink is horrible. Why did they do this?" And it was like, bro,
Dude,
everything in the
listen,
Marvel
listen.
universe is connected.
What did you think of the VMAX reveal? Because I saw a lot of people complaining about the VMAX, like, oh, all that build up just to be a fucking air conditioner. And I'm like, you guys aren't delving into what that means. It means
So
the last thing her sister saw before she died. Like,
yeah,
that's that's so
and the way she interpreted, you got to think about it. It wasn't like she saw a message.
yeah.
You know, when you at least how the powers have been portrayed in the movie, I'm going off of what they gave us and what the explanation in the movie was. It was the visceral emotion that she felt from her sister seeing that. Like she connected all the dots, everything came together like a Rubik's cube, and then it's like, holy shit, I thought it was a secret weapon, secret file. No, this is, and she felt the complete emotion of her sister dying. And all that, she's a teenager that's unregulated. She's gonna lash out.
Yeah.
And it's like people are like, oh, well, you know, yes, he's probably gonna be, people are gonna be looking for her if they remember. But the thing is, she was an antagonist. Once Peter Parker, and a lot of people don't realize that Peter Parker is a lot like Naruto.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like in terms of they believe in everybody. Everybody has good in them. And they also believe people can change. And once he realized what the reason was that they were doing something, they were like, you know, he made a moral choice. It was like, yo, this is wrong. That's why he went back. It wasn't like, well, too bad, so sad. But you know, given the reveal, and then what was it? The Department of Cleanup. I forgot what was the name of the agency.
It's Department of Damage Control.
Damage Control ended up being the big bad.
Yeah,
because
the overarching government trying to, you know, just control the world that's around them.
So this is what you got to understand: is that these people have an actual agenda.
Yeah,
like they wanted to get Jean Grey's powers, and they didn't care what they had to kill, because if they killed her or her sister, they wanted to create soldiers so they can take control of them. Think about the hand. And you got to go back and watch the dialogue. I've seen this and pay attention to the dialogue.
I was gonna say, how did the hand? Because again, I know the hand from Daredevil.
They were controlled by them when Spider-Man took them in.
Yep.
They brought him in, and they used what little they learned from Jean Grey's sister to mind control them.
Okay.
And that's how the hand ended up working, because you thought you can see they didn't speak, and they were not individuals. They were just completely devoted.
Yeah.
Villains or clans like that, they're not lapdogs. They're not going to run and do that. They gave you breadcrumbs that they were controlled. And also, what the biggest part about this, and mark my words, for those of you that watch Marvel and stuff, Peter Parker is the reason we're going to get Sentinels and we're going to get those collars. His actual chip, thing was left behind.
Yeah.
And I'm almost 100% certain that Damage Control or the US government took that. And that's what is going to lead to Sentinels, and that's what is going to lead to the dampening collars and all that stuff.
That's the thing. Like when they talked about it, and he goes, you know, talking about making something that was bigger that can control other, like that could be a universal dampening control. I'm like, okay, that's going to lead into the whole idea that they're trying to stop mutants, and they're going to try to, like, you know, enslave the mutants, or, you know, just get rid of their powers and stuff like that. So I thought that was really interesting. let's jump off the Jean Grey stuff for a sec, because one big
Mhm.
thing in this movie is the relationship between Peter Parker and Mary Jane and Ned.
It was so beautifully done. I love the Mary Jane storyline because she and shout out for Zendaya or Zendaya, however you pronounce it, depending on who you are. She delivered an amazing line that tied
I wonder
everything
if it's the
together.
same line I'm thinking of, because
When
it
she
might be
said,
my
when
mic
she
drop of
says,
the movie.
when she said, although I was in love with you, I am a completely different person now.
Yeah.
So like she doesn't owe him nothing. She
Yeah.
can't be like, oh, I'm completely now I know who you are. Like, I'm gonna believe you.
Yeah. She's like, those are your memories. Like, I don't have those memories. I don't love you because, you know, it's not in here. You're remembering someone that I'm not. I'm a completely different person. That shit made me go like, oh shit. Like, you forget
And it's like,
that. Well, I was gonna say, you
and I
forget that,
can
like,
see.
in life. Hold on. You forget that in life, you know, uh relationships, the relationships we have with each other drive, you know, the memories you have drive your relationships. That you eliminate all these memories from your brain, like shit, like, yeah, that's gonna change the way you look at a lot of people in your life.
So the thing is about that is you got to understand that this was probably done way better than they did Star-Lord and Gamora. Remember in Avengers Endgame when Star-Lord, when he got Gamora back and he was
Yeah,
like, oh no, he was trying to convince her, like, well, you know, we were together before,
yeah,
so we should be together again. And she was like, no. Like that, the conversation that was missing there, Mary Jane or MJ
yeah,
said it there. She was like, I don't know you.
yeah,
Like you, it's good as friends and whatever. Like, it's different. Like people were like, oh, so you know, there seems so many memes and on the internet when Ned and Peter did the handshake, Ned understood. But I have my own theories about that, which I'll talk about in a second. But purely with her, she's
yeah,
a different person.
yeah,
So I understand that. And then it's like they can move away from their relationship until it makes sense,
yeah,
which I like. And because you know what I mean? They're young and they don't have to be together. She can still be his friend,
yeah,
and then it would have been a whole situation that they could easily been like, oh yeah, I do remember you, I love you, and then the current boyfriend could have been the next villain for Spider-Man. Like, you know, they could have easily been like, I'll get you, Spider-Man. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, yeah.
but
No,
I like where they ended it.
I do too. I like the fact that it's like, no, now you're gonna have to relearn each other as adults. You're gonna have to relearn each other as, like, after having gone through a lot of the shit that you've been through. Like, you know, Peter has to really make that choice now. Like, you know, again, seeing what happened to Jean Grey and her sister, all those different things, seeing what's happened to him with Aunt May. It's like, do you put the people you love in the fucking in front of that smoking gun like that?
You don't. And then on top of that, like you think about this, is that relationship would have not been what he would have wanted. It
Yeah,
would have been like, you ever been around, you know, we're humans. We've been in relationships where somebody loves the other person completely and the other person just they're like, "Oh yeah, okay."
yeah, yeah,
He
yeah,
would have been she would have felt so guilty that this person is like on year 10 of
yeah,
falling for her and she's like, "I think he's cool." You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like that would
Mhm.
have been such a weird dynamic
Yeah,
with
yeah, yeah.
them, like as them as just human beings.
Mhm.
Like you know what I mean? And be like, "Oh yeah, I love you," and then she would be like, "Oh, thanks." Like, you know,
Yeah, she'd have been
I
like, "Oh."
appreciate you.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
hey,
exactly.
bud,
Yeah,
like you're cool too.
yeah. Alright, so what
So
what's this theory you have on the Ned recognizing Peter? Because I
again,
to me, it's just to me, I felt like he, you know, obviously he was like, he talked to Mary Jane earlier. He's like, "Wait, like, Spider-Man's name is Peter?" And I think he put, you know, the pieces together, because you could see he was the detective guy who could put all this stuff together.
he put the pieces together, but this is where I like to dive in through, you know, Charlie with the board and all the connecting dots is remember in the previous Spider-Man,
Mhm.
No Way Home?
Yep.
Which was I think that was No Way Home when
Yeah,
they had the other two Peters and everything.
Yep.
Remember that his Ned's grandmother said, "Ned, you're special," and
Yeah.
then Doctor
Doom?
Strange said
Okay.
that you can't use the magic portal rings unless you have if you have an affinity for magic.
Yeah.
So I think that upon Ned's mind recognizing who Peter was,
Yeah.
I think that broke away whatever spell that the whole world was under. And he kind of like had some like
Do you
memory
think it broke away
come
the
back
whole spell, or just a part of the spell that was coming over Ned?
that was coming over Ned. I
Okay.
think that's when Ned discovered, because it wasn't like, oh, I know who you're, Spider-Man. If I think his reaction would have been like, dude, you're Spider-Man. It was more like, holy shit, I know who you are.
Yeah.
Like not like I know who your identity is. Like, no, you're the bro. Like I'm like I think that's why they ended it like that. And there's also tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
If you ever watch any of those Spider-Man movies with Tom Holland, it always ends like that, with a
Yeah.
crazy ending, and then it just goes to black. Like in the
They
one
went
with
fucking with J. Jonah Jameson.
yeah,
He's
it's like what? It's like him going what? And then
Yeah.
it goes to black. Like
No,
so that's
okay,
my theory of that.
all right, so there was something about this Spider-Man movie that I really, really appreciated. Let me see if you agree. To me, this is the first Spider-Man movie, and now I'm gonna count the fucking Amazing Spider-Man. I'm gonna count those Tobey Maguire ones. This is the first Spider-Man movie where New York felt like New York.
Yep.
Like when you see him walking around and stuff, there was a slight
Bro.
grittiness to it where I'm like, this feels like the New York I've been to. This doesn't feel like, Fifth Avenue, Manhattan by the fucking Central Park. No, this feels
Yep.
like I'm walking through Flatbush Ave, And I was like,
Yep.
ooh, this is nice.
And then like and I hate to bring in my Knicks in this. It's just like it's been a year for New York, bro. From the Bad Bunny beat to the real New York to the Puerto Rican actress from The Bear. Like,
Yep.
yo, this felt really, really good. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was one of those things that I'm like, yo, I rock with that. Like, I rock with that heavy.
Yeah.
And like even at the end, the scenes were of New York. Like this is the most New York centric Spider-Man movie we have. If you think about it, the first one, it was set place in DC, and then Queens. This is like proper New York City. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, because like again, the last movie that I watched where I felt New York, and again, it wasn't, technically it wasn't New York in the movie, but like was the first Joaquin Phoenix Joker.
Yep.
Where you walk around and it feels like New York. Whereas like
But
a lot of
to be honest, that was a very unique New York.
No, but what I'm saying is like again, the other Spider-Man movies felt like they went to the clean, nice section of New York to film these movies to build their look of what they wanted that New York to look like.
Yeah, this felt like actual New York, like the New York
even in
that I go
Avengers,
to.
even in the first Avengers, when you had that fight, it doesn't feel like it's in New York because they tell you it's in New York, but it feels like generic big city.
It was probably Chicago. I think a lot of those movies film in Chicago.
But no, when you saw like Tom Holland walking around, you see the smoke coming out of the manhole stuff. I'm like, this feels like
excuse
the
me,
New York I used to go to hang out with my cousins.
Yeah. It's one of those things that I really enjoyed. It's like this movie was such a vibe, and I know people were like, well, they made this to start Jean Grey and the X-Men, and this is so stupid. It's not it's like, bro, this is all comic books are like this. If you ever read a comic book, when they're teasing a big story, it starts in other people's comics.
Mm-hmm. Well, also the thing is, I think I saw a lot of people complain. They're like, "Oh, Spider-Man hasn't had his own villain yet." Like, no, they showed him taking down his own villains. It's just they're also
it was a rogue of them. First of all, they gave us
Exactly.
the what is it, tarantula? Like
Scorpion?
No. They gave us a tarantula. The guy that looks like Spider-Man when they're climbing up the building.
Oh, yeah,
he
yeah,
has a black suit.
Yeah,
That was either the tarantula or something with an A. One of the two. But that was a good callback. You had like, first of all, you had so many cameos in this movie of the villains. You had somebody
Tombstone.
Tombstone, that was a dream come true for that actor. He's been campaigning to be Tombstone for like decades. And it came true. He was really happy. Go find the interview out there. He was like, "Yo, this was a dream thing for me. Like this, I really mess with this."
Yeah.
Like I think this, like it made me want more.
Yeah.
And I think, and for those of you that are anticipating Avengers Doomsday, you got to understand that there's a couple more things that are coming. And Spider-Man already set the table for that. Number one, the Hulk, as you notice, he was taken into custody voluntarily. So I think that takes him off the board for Doomsday, at least the first one. The first Avengers movie, part 2, that probably, and then Spider-Man, that tease was a 2-point tease. I don't know if you noticed it at the end. It was, they showed Spider-Man on Earth.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, and then they showed him there. So I think the Spider-Man on Earth is either Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield.
Yep.
And that's going to appear, because it initially didn't find it, and then it looked somewhere, and then it found it after it glitched, which means we got into a parallel universe. And I think the second one is it in Doom World or
Battle World.
The Battle World. That's where I think the Peter that we know, Tom Holland's Peter, will be after Avengers Doomsday.
I don't know. I feel like it was just setting the table for him, like, hey, like, you know, he's saying another Spider-Man's coming. And I think it's gonna be the Tobey one. I think the Tobey one's gonna be the one that's gonna be on Battle World. I think Tom Holland's gonna be in New York with all this other stuff. And you know, the Tobey from the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man is gonna be the one that's takes center stage, at least in Doomsday.
And so another thing that I think they did very well was balancing the Punisher, John Bernthal.
Do you again, most people are just so used to the idea that the Punisher is a masochist and like fucking just all violent all the time.
He was all violent.
No, but do you like the direction? Because they actually gave him a little bit more of a personality. They gave him a more of a well-rounded feel, not just someone who's every 2 seconds wants to shoot someone.
Well, if you saw Punisher Last Kill, they gave you the reason why he's like this. Punisher Last Kill, which was probably around the time when when Tom Holland's Spider-Man was forgotten. So there's a parallel in terms of him becoming an anti-hero. He's no longer broken. So at the end of Last Kill, he becomes the hero. He makes the choice of being this guy that's always angry. He dealt with his demons in a way that makes him more of a person that's trying to save. And trying to help. Like, he was trying to stop that person, not because he wanted to kill them, it's because he wanted to stop innocent people from dying. So his methods were, and just like in the comic, his methods were kind of like skewered very Punisher like. And I like the fact that they had the conversation between those scenes when the Hulk transformed. And then he was like, "Okay, you go ahead and handle the Hulk. I'm gonna work on getting the safe or whatever." Because he was like, "Oh, I shot him with everything." And
I like the fact that with the Punisher in the MCU, it's like, again, especially in this movie, it was like a tale of it's like a warning for Peter Parker, like, hey, like, this is what happens when you're going at this alone. This is what happens when you don't have friends, when you are consumed by everything going around you. Like, look at me. He goes, I live on this boat in the middle of nowhere. Like, you know, I'm angry. That's not who you want to be. And the fact that they have like that little relationship with each other, it's almost like, you know, it's basically like Spider-Man can be for Frank what he's like. I wish I could be more like that, but no, I've seen too much shit in my life for me to be like, nah, I'm gonna take the good guy route. Like I'll help, but like I'm gonna help my way because I've seen what that does.
And I also like that at the end, you know, we saw a change in Frank. Like when he put on the mask to help him, you know, Frank, number one, he was very like, he finally saw his actions have a serious consequence. That I think from here on out, when we see him again, he's gonna be a different Frank Castle. because
Yeah.
he's like, holy shit, like this is a kid that's innocent and that is overall good. And I
Mhm.
believe that Frank Castle would sacrifice himself for this Spider-Man. He's
Yeah.
like, wait, I almost cost the world probably the best version of a person that I can see.
It's the Marvel version of Superman, that hope.
Yeah.
That hope and optimism. Do
Yeah.
you
And
like do you think they're gonna stick with the organic webs, or are they gonna still go with the
I,
web shooters?
I think they're gonna stick with the organic webs. I think it's more of a like a nod to like Toby Maguire
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like a wink wink nudge nudge of the joke when
yeah,
him and Andrew Garfield were like, wait, so explain to me, how does that work
yeah,
coming
yeah,
out
yeah,
of your wrist? And
yeah,
he was like, listen, let's not talk
yeah.
about this.
I mean, this is the first Marvel Spider-Man movie that wasn't directed by John Watts. It was directed by Destin Daniel Crichton, the same thing I did Shang-Chi, who's
Mhm.
also supposed to be doing one of the Avengers movies.
I think I think he's supposed to be helping in the second one.
Yeah.
'Cause I think the Russos are doing both.
What do you think of his direction and his look of the movie compared to, the John Watts and the
Well,
previous trilogy?
the John Watts was a superhero movie
Yeah.
that was sprawling,
Yeah.
and I think his vision was good. But I am more anticipating this next trilogy above the first three. The first three were good, were A1,
Yeah. Yeah.
but this one is just like top shelf at this point. It's like he cooked.
Yep.
Like, this is him, like this Spider-Man before was like, yo, this is pretty decent, and now this is like Spider-Man top tier
Yeah.
that I can't wait to see. And the fact that they're not like, they do a lot in these movies of like showing where it's gonna go, that I'm anticipating
Yeah.
what's gonna happen. And I don't think we're gonna get another one for like 3 years, because the movie in 2288 is gonna be X-Men.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not gonna be Spider-Man, and I don't think Spider-Man is gonna be in there. I think his next appearance is gonna be in Doomsday Secret War.
Yep.
I'm sorry, an Avengers Secret War, or whatever
Mhm.
title that they're calling it. And I think they're gonna I think that we're gonna probably have 3 to 4 years uh,
Yeah.
for the next Tom
Yeah.
Holland version by himself standalone.
Yeah. I like Destin's like direction in this movie because in the previous trilogy, I think my favorite moment in the entire trilogy is when Tom Holland's Peter Parker is going back to the cafe to tell MJ about, who he is. And he ends up not doing it because he realized once he sees the band-aid, he realizes like, hey, like her knowing who I am puts her in danger. And there was this realism and this like groundedness to that scene that like it didn't feel glossy like the other movies were. And then
Yeah,
I think this movie carried that forward. It's like there is a little bit more of a grittiness to it, a little more realism to it. But I also liked the action that he put Spider-Man in, because he had Spider-Man moving. Like we've seen Spider-Man web swing and move before in the past, and you're
bro.
like,
That
okay, it's normal. But this one, he's actually moving like this, how I think Spider-Man would move.
like the in the camera shot, I'm sorry, in the cowl shots or
Oh,
the helmet
yeah,
shot, that was
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. But no, but
Like,
even with him doing the martial arts gymnastics move, it's like
yep,
before he'd be like swinging out of the way, jumping out of the way real fast, using his webs. Like you expect Spider-Man to move, but this one he's contorting his body, doing shit where I'm like, that's the Spider-Man in the comics. That's
yeah,
what I remember.
yep, and I
Yeah.
and I really like it. What what is your
Oh,
score on this? What
I'll,
do
I'll
you
tell you right now. Again, Spider-Man is my favorite superhero of all time. This was the best Spider-Man movie I've ever seen,
Yep.
in my opinion.
Same
And
here. I recommend it to everybody that I talk to. I'm gonna see it for a third time this weekend.
yeah, it's actually to me, it's actually battling Winter Soldier as I think the best Marvel movie, in my opinion.
Okay. Okay.
Because like
Uh
again, like 'cause it was inherently again like with Endgame, and they're great movies, but part of the fun of those movies is the ensemble nature of it and seeing like all these characters work together. Whereas
yep.
again, with this one, you had a bunch of extra characters, but it was primarily a Spider-Man. It felt like this is a Spider-Man comic come to
Yeah.
life. Yeah.
Yeah,
How about you?
and yeah, it's top tier. I still think Endgame for me is probably the best movie I've seen a Marvel. Just that's just my personal preference, but this is the
Okay.
best Spider-Man I've ever seen. To the point that I'm gonna buy the physical copy.
Yeah.
I don't even like, bro. I have a copy of Obsession. I rarely buy physical
Oh,
movies.
I'm buying a physical copy just because. Okay, because all this shit right now is going on with digital copies,
Yeah,
or the fucking if you buy a digital copy, all of a sudden they could just take it off their service, and all of a sudden you don't have it. It's like, what the fuck did I buy it for then? So
yep.
I want to buy, physical copies that come with digital copies so I can
Yep.
download them.
That's what
I
I'm
mean,
gonna do.
also
So
my place.
I
I was looking for a good DVD player or Blu-ray player, but my PlayStation 5 will play it. So I'm like, all right, cool.
oh, that's I didn't even know you had a PlayStation 5. You
Oh
never
yeah.
talk about it.
Oh yeah. I mean, because the thing is, there's games I have that I want to play. I just don't have the time to dedicate to them because I know they're gonna take a like. I would love to hop on Ghost of Yotai. I don't have the time to dedicate.
Yeah, I definitely understand that.
Yeah.
So
What's the last video game you played?
I just finished it. I played 007 First Light. I played it all the way
How is
through.
that? I heard it's good.
It's very good. It's very good. I played it all the way through. There's the way you're supposed to play it, and there's the way that I played it.
Which
So
is
like it gives you hints on how to be a spy.
okay.
But I just go in because the punching mechanics in this and in that video game is hilarious. So I
Yep.
just go in and be like, "Oh, who's that?" Like I walk, you know how they're like sneak around in this dark spots. No, I just walk in the room like, "What's up, motherfuckers?" And I just start punching. Like, bro, like one of the AI characters was like you're sure taking a long time, James, because I just went and found every guard
Yeah.
and beat the shit out of them, and then passed the board. It
That's
was like
hilarious.
it
That's
was one of my
hilarious.
favorite. I did it in a weekend. It was the first time in a long time that I sat and played an entire video game. You know how many video games that I have that I start and then move on to a next one
Yeah.
because the newest thing. But no,
Same.
I sat and
Same.
played it. I sat and played it. I'm trying to play right now is the last Call of Duty, which was 2 years ago's version, the actual campaign. Like those games that
I,
normally, but for some reason, this one I put it down and I never picked it up.
yeah.
And then
I
the
don't.
last year's version of the campaign plays like the online game, which I didn't like. So
Yeah. I'm more of a like whenever I play Call of Duty or anything like that. Like I'm always let me play the campaign before I hop into multiplayer.
oh,
Just
I
'cause
suck
to
in
me,
multiplayer, so I
dude,
always play campaign.
yeah.
So
To me, Modern Warfare 2 is one of the best first person shooter campaigns I've ever played in my life.
yep,
That sniper mission and then hopping at the fucking the amusement park in Chernobyl, that's
yeah.
got to be one of the best levels of any game I've ever played in my life.
Yeah, it's one of those games that like I don't know what it is, but certain games don't pull me. Like Spider-Man, Miles Morales is
Yeah.
fire.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Okay,
yeah,
that's the game I have to finish.
hold on 1 second. Anyway, so yeah, like I'm trying to because I told you my fall, I'm trying to, limit my travel for the fall.
Yeah,
But I'm
yeah,
already getting text messages that might mess that up. But I'm trying to stay home in the fall. Like I'm
yeah.
going to Orlando to visit a cool guy that I know
Yeah, yeah,
but
some big plans going on in that guy's life. I wonder who that is.
yeah, and it happens to be on my birthday, so I really hope that this guy knows that the sacrifice that I'm making. But
Listen,
anyway,
go figure.
I don't even think I have no hot take this week.
Okay, so here's the thing. I was thinking about hot takes for this week, but I actually I want to pose a question to you.
Okay.
It's a fun question because there was a lot of news that came out of D3 this year.
Yep.
Specifically, they announced the X-Men cast. First of all, what do you feel about that X-Men cast?
They hit it on the nail every single one.
Mhm. Yeah.
I'm just curious as to who Magneto is going to be. I think they're leaving that out because whoever it is going to be a game changer.
I think whoever Magneto is going to be, it's kind of like I think it's gonna be someone recognizable that like I feel like is going to make people go like, oh, okay, like I can't wait to see what they do with this. I
Yeah.
like the fact that they went with a lot of younger, more less known actors and actresses, other than like Sadie
Yeah.
Sink, because it's gonna allow the characters to grow and for people to
First of all,
really
our
attach
chick
themselves
from
to them.
Obsession as Rogue, that was amazing.
Yeah, because why is the internet upset about it?
I don't know because the internet sucks.
Yeah,
There's certain parts of the internet that I don't think we should go. I think there's a complete my wife said this the other day. It was like social media and the internet should be used for reporting happy things
yeah,
and there's already a lot of very dark and real news that you could look up online, but it's like people just get on there to complain.
yeah.
Like
It's what Twitter, all
like
Twitter is complaining. There's
like
very
I
rarely anything
think
happy on there.
I think people and you know what? I've been the same way in other mediums like wrestling or whatever. People in their mind realize that, comic books and cartoons are in your imagination when you
Yeah.
fantasy book or you fantasy cast.
Yep.
And then when the person that you specifically in your mind, a person that's not in Hollywood has no feel is
Yep.
only worth the one ticket that maybe you see, or maybe you wait until you could bootleg it or whatever.
Yep.
But you are immediately up in arms when a person you don't like is cast.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like, and then you ask that person, so who do you think should be cast? And they come out with the wildest shit.
Mhm.
Like,
Well,
I think Jean Grey, and they'll name something stupid like this person has red hair. And
yeah.
it's like,
Exactly. Exactly.
like what? Like, I didn't know hair was permanent. I
Yeah.
didn't
Okay.
realize
So
that.
so that's gonna lead into my question, because Marvel is a very expansive property with a lot of characters. If you were wanting to add a character into the Marvel world, who would it be, and who would you fan cast in that role? And you got to sell me on.
For that's not been announced.
I mean, whatever you want.
Um, I think the best we already teased the best version of Wolverine. That's Henry Cavill. That's a fan casting. That's a slam dunk. But in
Is it?
terms of yes, it is. It is, to me. It is. And in terms of Magneto, you know
Mhm.
who I would cast for Magneto, and people are gonna lose their Evan loving mind
Go ahead.
for this. I would actually cast for Magneto.
Oh, I want to hear this. What,
I'm
Idris
just
Elba?
no. I would say the person you cast for Magneto is Tom Cruise. An older
What?
Tom Cruise, somebody like that. Like
What? Tom Cruise.
because Magneto
That's gonna be the thing at the beginning of this episode, just so you know. So you're
hey,
gonna get
it
a
don't
lot
matter.
of
It don't matter. Like I'm looking up and this is
Tom Cruise.
I just think
Listen, to me, I love Oscar Isaac, right? I love Oscar Isaac. He shouldn't have been Apocalypse, because you need someone with stature. I think Magneto needs stature, and I don't think Tom Cruise, I think that's part of what that
or
character needs.
if or I just think you need somebody intense. And I think
Yeah.
Tom Cruise has phoned in intensity. But if you want somebody that's slightly younger and is less of a big name, if you want to keep people that grow,
Yeah.
Jensen Ackles, which is Dean from Supernatural. I can
I can
see
actually
him.
see that.
I can
actually
see him
that.
as but my perfect casting for Magneto, he was cast as Mr. Sinister. Like that was to me supposed to be Magneto.
You thought Adam Driver would be a
Bro,
better Magneto than
he is Magneto. Think about the intensity. And he already has the hair. Like, come on, man. And
you just said hair can change.
no, but I'm saying that's a budget cut. And he also has the physicality, because Magneto, at least in the cartoons, he's depicted as this like 6'4".
Yeah.
Like if this guy wasn't already a huge actor and he was just a little bit better at acting, I would do Alan Richardson, but he can't. I don't think he brings that intensity that you need in a role like that.
Yeah.
Like those three people, and before you clip it, Tom Cruise was just in terms of the intensity and the age group, because he's
No,
going
but
to
you
be
saw the guy.
slightly.
But you saw the guy that they cast as Professor X. That wouldn't work if him and Eric are supposed to be,
But they could have
buddies.
they could have done him being a pupil of him. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Of somebody like because it could have been somebody that he worked with, somebody that he interned with or something, and whatever
yeah,
they were doing. You know what I mean? They don't have
yeah,
to be legit the same age, but
yeah.
like somebody like if Alan Richardson was not, he's not a great actor. He's
No,
very physical.
yeah.
I could see him as that, but he also is on the top of my list to be Colossus if they do a
Yeah.
Colossus.
I mean, you know who would make a good Magneto?
Who?
In all honesty, I think is the dude that the dude that got canceled for eating babies or eating women.
Oh no, not him, not him.
Army Hammer. I think Army Hammer has the stature and the intent, because when he played the twins in fucking Social Network, he's got that feel to him, and he's got the size. I think he would make a good Magneto.
So the person that I would love to play Nightcrawler, and this might be the controversial one, is but he's not gonna happen. He's not gonna happen because he's already in DC. Is Xylo, my man from Cobra Kai.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Because he could.
I could see the dude Wolf. Who's that Wolf? Finn Wolfhard, the kid from fucking Stranger Things.
I can see that, but I like more of a physical guy that is like he's calm, but he could be the guy that you need him to like, give you the hands in the business. And I don't know. And this is just because I know Nightcrawler it's depicted as Brazilian or Latin descent.
Yeah.
He's the only person that I think fits that age group, but he probably has a non-compete with DC, which means he can't leave that role. But that's just me.
Listen,
like
if I were to fan cast someone into Marvel, okay. This is why I was thinking about this. We got Blade, okay. Now Mahershala Ali is out, and they got their issues, whatever. But I feel like Blade still needs to be around in Marvel. I think
leave Wesley Snipes.
No. You know who I think should play Blade?
Who?
Jonathan Majors.
No.
Yes.
I don't think.
Jonathan Majors has the intensity. He's got the skill. He's got the build, and he'll put himself through the rigorousness that would it take to really bring that character to life.
I could definitely see that, but if you're gonna go Jonathan Majors, like there's so many actors that could play Blade, like literally.
No, there are, but I think Jonathan Majors he's got the look. He's got this fucking, I don't know, there's something about him where I'm like, I think, like, again, right now he's making that.
If we're going that insane, if you want,
it's not insane.
No. If we want to double dip actors, I think the perfect casting choice for Blade would be Jamie Foxx, based on Day Shift.
Jamie Foxx is Spawn, bro. That motherfucker needs to be Spawn. That's Al Simmons.
I don't know, man. Al Simmons to me should always be the guy that played him.
Michael Jai White.
Yep.
No, I think Jonathan Majors, obviously because Kang's out, then he comes back into the MCU as fucking Blade. I think it would work tremendously. Everybody, whoever's listening, let's give that man, because he got railroaded. Let's give that man another shot. I'm telling you, man. All right, final thoughts on Spider-Man: Brand New Day.
Excellent movie. Movie that of the summer. 100%, and I'm happy I was able to see it, and I'm happy that we potted about it.
Yeah, I'm same movie of the summer, and again, I love the Odyssey. The Odyssey was more groundbreaking, but I think this was like, I don't know, I had such an amazing time. And I went to I saw that Alamo Draft House. Man, that's if we ever once I move to Raleigh, we go in the Alamo Draft House to watch movies, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm down with it.
Yeah, it's good. Go see it, man. It's the best Spider-Man property out there, and that's including all the Into the Spider-Verses. I love the Into the Spider-Verses, all that stuff, but again, there's a cadence to those movies that you can only do it in animation. That's why it works that way. You can't do it in live action. It costs fucking $3 billion to make.
Yep.
So, as far as live action, yeah, that's brand new day.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of people that don't like both movies. And I honestly think that it's just because they like to be contrarian. It's like you can find those people. Like as soon as somebody says they like this, they'll be like, I don't like it. But as soon as somebody talks crap about a movie that they feel that they could like, they'll be like, oh, you guys are all stupid. So it's like, it's like we're always going to be on the different sides of the fence there. But anyway.
Anyways, all right. Well, that's the latest episode of Surratt and Chris's Movie Therapy Podcast featuring Marcos. It's your boy Surratt, aka Makazi.
It's your boy Marcos, aka at the Sunset Kid 56.
Come back next week. We'll have some more crazy movies for us to talk about. I don't know what movie's gonna be on tap. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Peace.
Peace, y'all.
I'm a warrior.